The United States launched airstrikes in Yemen on March 15 and 17, 2025. The strikes targeted two key areas, the capital Sana'a and the strategically important Hodeida province. This action marks a significant escalation of U.S. involvement in the ongoing Yemeni conflict. The strikes targeted Ansar Allah Houthi positions, including leadership, training grounds, and drone facilities. The March 17 strikes in Hodeida province are particularly noteworthy. Reports indicate that these strikes killed Iranian military advisors. These advisors were identified as members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, including the elite Al-Quds special forces. The presence of IRGC personnel underscores the complex geopolitical dynamics at play in Yemen. The recent airstrikes signal a distinct shift in U.S. policy under President Trump. While the U.S. has provided support to the Saudi-led coalition in the past, these strikes represent a more direct and assertive approach. This shift suggests a renewed focus on countering Iranian influence in the region. The Trump administration has been increasingly vocal in its criticism of Iran's support for the Houthis. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz stated that the bombings were part of a campaign to hold Iran accountable for its actions. This statement reflects the administration's view of Iran as a destabilizing force in the region. Furthermore, the targeting of IRGC personnel demonstrates a willingness to directly confront Iranian interests. The airstrikes have resulted in significant casualties on both sides of the conflict. Reports indicate that dozens of Houthi fighters were killed in the strikes, particularly in the Al-Salaf area of Hodeida province. The strikes have also resulted in civilian casualties. On March 15, at least 31 people were killed, including women and children, with over 100 wounded. The Yemeni Supreme Political Council condemned the strikes and accused the U.S. of targeting civilians. The destruction of infrastructure is another devastating consequence of the airstrikes. A metallurgical plant in Al-Salaf, allegedly used for military purposes by the Houthis, was destroyed. The destruction of such facilities further exacerbates the humanitarian crisis in Yemen, a country already grappling with widespread poverty and displacement. The U.S. airstrikes in Yemen come at a time of heightened tensions in the Middle East. The recent violence in Gaza, with hundreds killed in Israeli airstrikes, underscores the volatility of the region. The Yemeni armed forces' decision to ban Israeli vessels from designated operational areas further highlights the interconnectedness of regional conflicts. The international community has expressed concern over the escalation of violence in Yemen. While the U.S. maintains that its actions are aimed at countering terrorism and promoting stability, critics argue that the airstrikes will only exacerbate the conflict and deepen the humanitarian crisis. The situation in Yemen remains fluid, and the long-term implications of the U.S. airstrikes are yet to be fully understood.